So what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nistro here. The Battle of Chaos tournament that we went to on Saturday as a whole team, we uploaded the profile for on Sunday. So that profile where it was both Matthew and Marcus, the Wednesday before that, it wasn't even the week, it was that same week but on Wednesday rather than on Saturday. We did go to game day locals and we messed around. I didn't compete, but Marcus competed. He didn't do too well and we sort of decided like, maybe it's not worth uploading, even though we decided not to use the entire footage of the day, because one, I did also come late that day because I was stuck in traffic. We actually did decide that, hey, you know, this player did so well with Madolche that we might as well upload this shit onto the channel anyway, even if it's old format. We just wanted to give people a bit of perspective on the Madolche archetype because it's still a pretty strong deck that you don't see being used too often. So we're going to go through pretty much the whole match now. Yeah, we got the field center placed up and power shuffling. It was a fun day. I mean, it wasn't like anything too crazy going on. We got some, like, there was some Phantom Knight Brave in the room. There's a whole lot of Swordsoul because this was like right before the ban list was about to hit. So the Swordsoul Copium made everyone play, you know, Swordsoul with Protos, Triple Desires, and Imperial Order before everything got hit. But anyway, so the Madolche player is going to start off with Madolche Salon, which is a card I didn't even know existed because it came in Eternity Code. And so essentially what it does is it lets you get a second normal summon of a Madolche. So Mageline can normal summon itself, search another Mageline, summon it again, and then he goes into Rafflesia, gets the Petting Cessor. The thing about him using the Petting Cessor is that he's locked into Madolche for the turn. Petting Cessor summons out a Madolche from deck and lowers its level by 1. So you summon out Petting Cess, it's level 5 normally, but it gets lowered by 1, so it becomes level 4. And you overlay into glassouffle. Glassouffle just puts one in grave, and then chocolate a la mode, once per turn, it can shuffle one card from your graveyard back into your deck. Because a Madolche card in his grave was shuffled into his deck, he's allowed to use chocolate a la mode's effect to special summon a Madolche from his deck by detaching one because it has Pudding Cess as material. And that's not a once per turn effect. Marcus tries to Ash Blossom here, and very smartly, our Madolche player has set up Traptrix Rafflesia, accidentally detaching 2 to send Gravedigger's Trap Hole, negates the effect of anything that activates in hand or graveyard, and I think it inflicts 2,000 damage to your opponent as well. He gets to resolve his Chocolate a la mode, and he also gets to resolve his Salon here, because Salon would actually get to set Chateau from deck, because anytime a Madolche is sent from graveyard back into deck, he gets to set any Madolche spell trap from his deck. Go figure, there's also a Madolche card that negates that came out in Eternity Code as well. So he goes Angeli into Hoot Cake into Messenger Gelato. Now he gets to search any Madolche spell or trap. He's going to search the Promenade, which is also the card from Eternity Code that negates. Now he flips up Chateau. Chateau brings back a Madolche into his deck. And now he gets to detach again from Chocolate mode to summon out another Madolche from his deck. Even though he's locked into Madolche, just look at how much plus he's getting. Look at how much plus he's getting. This is from like Mageline plus Salon. This is all this is. So now he goes into the Glassouffle again, and he links those two into the Sistart. Glassouffle gets to, when a Madolche is sent to the graveyard, which is including for Link Summon, he gets to shuffle 2 cards back into the deck. Thanks to Chateau, it goes just straight back to his hand. It doesn't even go back to deck. So he sets the Promenade here, and because it's known, I'm pretty sure Marcus knows what card it is. So he starts off with the E-Telly, and E-Telly nets him the Ghost Ogre here. And so he's really only playing against one negate and an interruption with Rafflesia, and a possible interruption with the Glassouffle that's actually going to come up later. So now he goes into Ecclesia, because Ecclesia, I think, is based on your opponent having more monsters. It's not like Alpha where they have more attack. It's based on your opponent having more monsters. And Rafflesia, Gravediggers, the Traptrix, Ecclesia, excuse me. Now he goes into Desires, and Desires is going to be met with the Madolche Promenade, which he can bring Mageline back to hand and then negate Desires. He goes plus for negating, and then Salon puts another negate on his field. Well, he can't activate the set card this turn, but still, it's another negate he can use next turn. So now he goes into Yazi. So he uses Yazi's effect, and Glassouffle does have the ability to, as a quick effect, to detach to make any Madolche unaffected. So he just targets the Rafflesia so that he can trigger Yazi and summon out. What does he summon here? Probably goes for one of the Tenyis. He could go Taiye as well. But instead he goes for Ashina. So link 1 Ashina into Monk. And when he links into Monk, he activates Glassouffle's effect to make itself unaffected. And then Glassouffle's first effect triggers its second to shuffle back 2 cards from any player's graveyard into the deck. So on that, Marcus goes Heavenly Dragon Circle, summons out another Ashina, because Ashina didn't trigger its effect yet this turn. Now he gets to use it after going -1 in hand. So Glassouffle, it actually does come up. It's crazy. So now he goes into Vishuda. And because Glassouffle already made itself unaffected by card effects, I mean, Vishuda can't even touch it. So now he goes into Shaman. What ends up happening here is because the Shaman is a separate language, he does actually want to look up a translation here. And Marcus gets the translation from his binder. Don't worry, he's not side decking from his binder in the middle of the game. So there goes Shaman. He's reading. So now he sends one from, sends one from hand to grave, summons back the Monk, and then he uses Vishuda here to shuffle the Sistart back into the extra deck. And now he crashes the Monk into the Glassouffle to pop the Promenade. And now pass his turn. He literally had nothing else. He has nothing in his hand. All he has is Shaman and Monk in his board. And dude, Madolche player over here has 6 cards in his hand. What a fucking Chad. He goes into Magdalene again, and like he saw the whole combo. Like we saw what he did last turn. That was just way too strong. For 2 cards, he ended with like 6 cards in his hand, going first. Like holy shit. So Madolche, I mean, Glassouffle is actually a pretty relevant card now. I didn't think much of it when I first read it, but like seeing it actually used against the meta and shuffling back relevant cards from graveyard back into deck, it's insane. In that duel, it was the mixture of Traptrix Rafflesia plus Glassouffle, I think, that actually got him the win. But the fact that Salon got him Promenade, and he got him double Magdalene into Rafflesia before he went into his Petting Sessor. It was just, he was able to generate so much advantage off those 2 cards. Even if he was locked into Madolche, like he had no issue with that, because he could actually build interactions that actually did something. All right, so fist bump right before. Is there going to be siding on the Madolche player's part? Here we go. So shuffling the decks again. And so this time, Marcus is going to start off. You might have seen one of the cards that he drew. Starts with Emergence. If you saw the card that I think you saw, then yes, this is still old format. So, as I said before, you know, it was one of the last few games of old format, or one of the last few tournaments of old format. So you might as well copium and play all the broken shit while you can before it gets banned. So he goes into Moye. His opponent lets him get the TR Misu token. And from there, he goes into Yugioh. Yugioh searches. Oh, he lets him cut because he's going to get the draw before he searches. And this time, he's going to search for the Longyang. Longguan? However it's pronounced. Not good with Chinese names, sorry. So, goes Longyang, slaps that down into the Baron. No effect on Adara. And Desires here. Nothing's going to stop this from resolving because he has Baron on field. Set 3 and pass. I mean, set 3 and Swordsoul, it's a bit of a bait. But okay, so our Madolche player starts with Extrav, which would have been really strong if he had like he had like a droplets or something. It does get ashed blossomed, actually. Not even Baron, it gets ashed. And now he's dealing with 2 negates with only 5 cards on board. 2 negates and 3 back row. Holy shit. So start with the Madolche ticket. Starts with the Petting Sessor. Petting Sessor gets summoned. And its effect on summon does get stopped by Yugioh. So normal will summon out the Messenger Gelato overlay for the glass souffle. Go into small world. And he has the IO. So at that point, Madolche player just skips it up. I mean, Swordsoul was just able to generate too much advantage. And then the one card, hey, you can't use a whole mechanic of the game type trap card was a very fun, very interaction heavy game, you know. We sort of just had like 2 one-player games there. I mean, to be fair, the Madolche player did actually have to work to get to where he got game 1, but here we go. We see him siding in his Imperms, his Dark Runomors, and his Gozen matches. Oh no, he's taking out the Dark Runomors. Oh, okay, yeah, because he's going to go first. Did he really take out Imperms, though? Taking out Imperms when you go first might not be the worst idea. Okay, and he took out one of his Madolche monsters. Okay. Actually seeing what people can side deck is actually pretty interesting. You know, you don't get to see that all the time. Like, just to see what he was thinking. It's like, okay, so instead of getting the one-off negates, because what is Imperm going to do to a Swordsoul deck anyway? You like, Imperm hits Moyi and it hits Yugioh and Tai. It doesn't hit anything else. Yeah, because it's mostly just Tenyi, so, and I don't think he was big on the Swordsoul combo at this point. Like, he only just started using the Swordsoul combos. All right, so here we go. Small world to start off. So banishes Hoot Cake. And from Hoot Cake, he attempts to banish Angeli to get Mageline, but we did have to tell him that Small World doesn't work like that. So he goes Pankertrops, and he sets the Hoot Cake and Pankertrops face down. Normal starts with the Mageline, really strong. And then he has Petting Sessor, and for some reason, he held the Ash Blossom for the Mageline, but not the, like, you should have just Ash Blossomed the Mageline anyway. You knew he was going to be able to make the fucking Petting Sessor. But yeah, starts with Vishuda. Normal summons out Otara. So links both, I mean not links, synchros into Yugioh, and a quick reading here. And Yugioh is met with the Solemn Strike, very funny. And a set 3 pass right before on end phase, Glass Souffle shuffles back both Tenyis into the grave, back into deck, which is pretty poggers. So goes into Messenger Gelato and just attacks with both. Sets 1 and passes turn. Goes into Otara, and even Solemn strikes the Otara summon. Holy shit. Okay. So attacks directly with both again. Sets 1 again. Glass Souffle is just so strong against Swordsoul. It literally just won him the fucking match. Like, look at this. He has 1 card in hand, 3 back row, and still can't do anything. Watch this. Just scoop. Just scoop against... It was just 1 card. 1 card from his extra deck that was able to stop the whole fucking play. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun. I mean, you don't get to see Madolche too often, so we decided, like, hey, you know, even if it was just monkey flip, brain dead plays for the rest of the tournament, you know, at least we can get 1 good game out of going to locals that day. So, that was Madolche. I think the player's name was Jake. We actually did have a few packs to open after. He ended up pulling a Water Enchantress, and the Eldritch player actually pulled a Collector's Rare Hornet, which is actually worth less than the ultra rare Water Enchantress, funny enough. Hope you guys are ready for the Battle of Chaos tournament that we're going to be hosting tomorrow. Going to be a lot of Swordsoul, still going to be old format, because it's going to be the last tournament we went to 2022 where old format was involved. Everything after this is the last video where it's going to be old format. Everything after this will be 2022 ban list. Everything after this. As a matter of fact, even the Magic Key video we uploaded yesterday, February 2022 ban list, and we have a Swordsoul deck profile for February 2022 ban list, although it doesn't have the synchro from Battle of Chaos. So we are probably going to have to wait to get updated for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is your boy Nistro of Well Played Games, signing out.
Blaze blue, blaze blue.